Hi guys, welcome back to Simply Blissful Living. This is Romy, and today's video is a collaboration with Matthew over at Matthew's Guyanese Cooking. We're both sharing recipes for Gujiyas, so please check out his channel as soon as you're done with my video. Matthew has some wonderful recipes on his channel with foods that are very similar to the ones I grew up eating. I will leave a link to his channel up above as an iCard. Also, you will find it down below in the description bar, and I will also leave a link at the end of the video. Go on over to Matthew's channel and check out his wonderful recipes and let him know that Romy sent you. Now, more about the Gujiyas. Gujiyas are sweet deep fried dish. It is very reminiscent to an empanada. The recipe that I am sharing is filled with coconut and some semolina, which is also known as Sooji. This recipe that I'm sharing today is very dear to me because this is how I grew up eating it. There's so many variations of Gujiya, and this is just my recipe or my take on it. So without further ado, let's get into the recipe.
So to make the filling of the Gujiya, these are the ingredients you will need. We have 1 cup of desiccated coconut. This is just packaged desiccated coconut. You can also use fresh coconut if you have it. I just didn't have access to it. I have half a cup of semolina, which is the same as suji, rava, or cream of wheat, and you can use coarse or finely grinded. And then I have 3/4 of a cup of brown sugar. This is the brown sugar we get in the United States. You can use any kind of sugar, just adjust it to your taste. And then I have about 2 tablespoons of raisins, and then some slivered almonds, so it's about 2 tablespoons. And then I have 1 teaspoon of crushed cardamom, which is also known as ellaichi. For the dough or the outer part of the gujiya, you will need 1 cup of all-purpose flour, which is also called maida. We will need a pinch of salt, and then 2 tablespoons of ghee. And then I have milk for the dough. So I will tell you later on in the video how much milk I end up using. I think it's about 6 tablespoons, but that's going to vary depending on what kind of flour or how your flour is. So we're going to start off in a pan. I'm using a non-stick pan over medium heat. You don't want the heat too high. And we're going to add the coconut, the semolina, and the almonds. You can use any other types of nuts or dried fruits if you'd like in this recipe. This is just how we usually make it. And then we're just going to saute this for a few minutes until they get browned a little. So once the mixture has browned, as you can see here, it's a golden brown color. We're going to go ahead and add the raisins, and we're going to mix it very well. And then we're going to add the sugar. I added only half a cup of packed brown sugar. So the brown sugar here, typically when you measure it, you pack it down while you're measuring. So this is about half a cup of packed brown sugar. You can adjust the sugar to your taste. And then we're going to mix it really nicely to make sure that everything is well incorporated. So after a couple of minutes, you'll notice that the sugar is well incorporated. And at this point, I went ahead and added some milk to my mixture because it was just too dry for my liking. Typically, we would use fresh coconut, which is a lot more moist. So you can go ahead and add, 4 to 6 tablespoons of milk to this if you want a more moist mix. If you want it to keep it dry, that would be fine too. Or you can use coconut milk as well. And this just makes the mixture come together nicely, and it kind of mimics what fresh coconut would feel or would be like in this particular mix, which is what my parents and my grandparents used to use when they made this when I was growing up. So in the end, you turn off the flame and then add the cardamom powder or ellaichi to this, and then mix it really well, and then your filling for the gujiyas are done. You want to take this out in a bowl and let it cool completely before filling the gujiyas. So now let's move on to the dough for the gujiyas. Okay, so we're gonna take a big mixing bowl and we're gonna add the flour, the ghee, and mix it really well. You want this to be like a crumbly consistency. And then we're gonna add the salt and just mix it really well. I'm going to take the milk 1 tablespoon at a time and incorporate it into the dough. So you want this dough to be kind of springy. If you were making roti or empanada dough, I'll show you the consistency in the end, but not too soft. You don't want this soft because it's going to end up soaking up a lot of the ghee or the oil that you fry in. So keep it a little bit on the tough side, but not too tough. It should be springy dough. And then we're gonna knead it really well. And a trick to this is when you're kneading it, let it sit for about 10 minutes and then knead it again, and it's easier and more pliable to work with because the gluten has had a chance to work in the dough. Once you've kneaded the dough well, you're going to go ahead and divide the dough into equal pieces. I got 12 equal pieces. You can make them as big or as small as you'd like, which would determine how big your gujiyas are going to be. Back home we call this loyas, just like you would make it for roti, but these are very small like you would make it for puri. You want to make sure you keep it covered while you're working with this dough so it doesn't crust over. And then we're going to start rolling them out into small puri-like pieces. So while rolling out the dough, we're making it like you would make puri, or just rolling out the dough into into little circles. If you can't roll them out, you can roll it out in any shape and then get a little lid or cup or something that's big enough diameter, and then just cut that. So we're making it like puris, and then you want it fairly thin, but not so thin where you can see the bottom. And then you're keeping it about 4 to 6 inches diameter, or 4 to 6 inches. And then we're gonna go ahead and fill this mixture in. So you just take it in your hand and you start filling the mixture inside. I use 2 tablespoons of mixture in my gujiya. And then we're gonna start closing the ends. So you want to take the 2 pieces of the puri or the dough and make it come together, and as you can see in the video. And then what I'm doing here is traditionally how we make it in Fiji. You pinch the dough and you fold it over. You pinch the dough and you fold it over, and that ensures that it's properly sealed. I'm going to show you another way to do this, which is a little bit easier, but this is how we make it in our house. So the other way to seal the edges is to, of course, fill it with the 2 tablespoons of mixture, and then we're going to take a fork and, just as you see in the video, we're just going to pierce the sides and kind of seal them together. This helps to seal it. You just want to make sure you press it hard enough to where both sides of the dough seal well, and then you want to flip it over and do the same on the other side. This just ensures that the gujiyas are not going to open up when you're frying them. And then now you want to take all the dough pieces and fill them in and seal them however you'd like, and then just set them aside, making sure that you cover the gujiyas with a damp cloth so they don't crust over like the pieces of dough that we did earlier. We're now going to take some oil in a pan or kadhai of your choice. I'm using grapeseed oil, and then you want to keep the flame to medium heat, medium to medium low. The key to frying these gujiyas are to not have the heat on too high, because what ends up happening is, as you'll see in a couple of my gujiyas, my second round, the heat was a little too high and the outside gets too bubbly and they puff up a little bit too much. So if you keep the heat low to medium, they'll fry up, they won't taste doughy, they'll get nice and golden brown, and they won't have the little bubbles on the outside. And so that's the key to making sure that your gujiyas stay nice and non-bubbly on the outside. So I ended up frying the gujiyas for about 12 to 15 minutes approximately, and you want to ensure that the one thing that you keep in mind is the gujiyas are turning golden brown. So if you keep your heat to medium low, low to medium low, it will cook properly and it won't taste doughy, and the inside will be nice and warm, and they're not gonna burn too quickly. And then you just want to drain them out on a plate lined with paper towels to catch the extra oil, and then just fry as many batches as you need to, depending on the size of your pan. And as you can see here, my second round, the oil was a little bit too warm, and when I put the gujiyas in, they started bubbling up really quickly. And I did this just to show you what happens if you have the oil too high. So I turned the oil down after that, but if you have the oil heat too high, it will start bubbling up like that, and you don't want that because then the skin starts cracking really easily. Once all your gujiyas are fried up, you're ready to plate this. These are absolutely delicious, and I hope you try this recipe and let me know what you think of it. I absolutely love eating gujiyas. We don't make them often, but when we do, everybody enjoys them thoroughly. Now, if you have any leftover stuffing, you can eat it by the spoonful, which ends up happening in my house, or you can freeze it in the freezer and it'll keep for a good 6 months. So the next time you want to make some dough, you can just let it thaw out and I have some stuffing ready to go. So if you give this recipe a go, please let me know what you think of it, either in the comments down below, or you could tag me on Instagram or post on my Facebook page. I have links to all that in the description bar. And if you would let me know down below what your favorite stuffing for gujiyas are, I would love to hear them. I love gujiyas of all kinds. And if you are watching me for the first time, if you could consider subscribing, that would be wonderful. And until next time, please take care, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.